like to bring to order the regular council meeting of Monday, July 9th, 2018.
No, 9th.
July 9th, 2018. I have the wrong year? All right. If we could rise for the, roll call, please, Mr. Lauer.
Mrs. Merrill?
Roll call.
Mr. Steigel? Mr. Curry? Here. Mr. Berquist?
Here and confused.
Mr. Ball? Present. Mr. Coach? Here.
All right, if we can now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular council meeting held June 25th, 2018.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any additions, deletions,
Mr. Chairman,
changes?
Mr. Chairman, I have three things that I wanted to bring to attention. I did copy you and Mr. Lauer on this email along with Mr. Kozer. One was a clarification on 5D about why I objected to that, and that was the loop road for Mr. Hoskins. I asked them to clarify that I objected because it was a problem he created, and I'm bothered by the number of variances that developers are asking for after we've just approved a new zoning ordinance. The second item was 5E. This was about the approval for recording purposes of waters of Peters subdivision. The way the minutes were written was all focused on the parking spots. And the point of that agenda item was the subdivision for the right-of-way for the turning lane. The parking thing was a secondary issue that came up, and the minutes made it sound like that was being approved. What was being approved was the subdivision for the right-of-way turning lane. So I wanted that clarified. And then the third thing under miscellaneous was related to the comment about returning a public road to private. I wanted to make sure that reference to Hidden Valley Road, that I said that council just paid $750,000 to fix the road, and with the potential for logging and other heavy equipment, I didn't feel that we should be held accountable for damage to the lower part. Those are three things I sent to Mr. Lauer. He acknowledged receipt.
All right. So noted. We have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Sounds like 7-0. Next item is special reports, and there remains none. All right. The next item would be audience comments. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to speak for up to 5 minutes on a non-agenda item. That would be an item not on this evening's agenda. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to grasp this opportunity? Seeing there is none, we will move to unfinished business, which there is also none. And next we go to new business. And the first item is resolution amending the Peters Township Act 537 Sewerage Facility Plan so as to provide access to sewage services for the hamlet of Peters Phase 7 plan of lots.
So at the June 25th meeting of the council, action was taken to approve the preliminary plan for the hamlet of Springdale's plan of lot Phase 7. Before council tonight is an amendment to the Peters Township Act 537 Sewerage Facilities Plan that will provide sewerage services for that. This proposed amendment's been reviewed by Peters Creek Sanitary Authority, the Clairton Sanitary Authority. It requires approval by Jefferson Hills and South Park since it uses that interceptor. Washington County Planning has looked at it, and it's been reviewed by our own planning department. It's my recommendation that the Peters Township Council adopt Resolution 7118, amending the plan.
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 7118, amending the Peters Township Act 537 Sewage Facility Plan so as to provide access to sewage services for the hamlet of Springdale Phase 7 plan of lots.
All right, any further comments by members of council?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, I have a few. I know this needs to be approved. I'm not objecting to approving it. However, the documentation that you sent us has several issues that make me uncomfortable with approving the item you put in front of us. Page 24, the site information doesn't appear to be accurate. There are 2 page 6s and 7s. Each of them have different information. And on page 63, it says the documents were all completed in April before this was actually approved, which I guess is, in theory, good planning. But I'm concerned about the inconsistency. There are signatures missing on different pages, so I'm not comfortable with approving the document the way it sits, though I do support the fact they need it.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I'm gonna abstain, recuse when I abstain.
So that would make it 5-1-1. Yeah. All right. Next, we have a selection of various purchases for the Public Works Department. We couldn't do this in a consent agenda?
Well, I don't think so, given the size of the purchases, and there's some discussion needed because, as you'll see in the case of one.
Okay. Well, the first one is to award a contract for the purchase of a crew cab pickup truck for use by the Public Works Department.
And we're going to pair that with the second one, which is award of a contract for a snowplow and frame for that truck.
So we are pairing.
We're going to make 2 separate motions, though, because it's for 2 separate contracts. The 2018 budget includes an appropriation of $70,000 to replace the existing Truck 38. Truck 38 is a 2008 Chevy 4-wheel drive pickup truck that has 92,500 miles on it. So contained within the budget is adequate funding to accomplish this. What's being suggested is that a contract under the CoStars program be awarded to TriStar Motors in the amount of $51,125 for the purchase of a 2018 Ford crew cab pickup. And then in addition to that, also under the CoStars program, that a separate contract be issued to Walsh Equipment in the amount of $7,500 for the purchase of a snowplow and frame.
And that's because the one truck that they wanted is, you can't get it.
No,
Yeah,
this actually is not that truck. This is a separate pickup truck. What you're talking about is what we're going to deal with next.
Wait a second.
Yeah, there's 2 different series.
So you're talking about a 2018 Ford 350 4-wheel drive crew cab?
Yes.
Okay,
That
well, it
is
says
the
right in there
Mexico,
that Dodge is in a process and is unable to fill any truck orders.
They would have normally, for this pickup, would have ordered a Dodge as well, and they can't. And so this is not the truck that we've already ordered. This is a pickup truck.
Did Joe Ursa not come in here, though, adamant about buying Dodges?
Yes, he was adamant about buying
Should we just postpone this order until we can get a Dodge?
Well, the problem is that Dodge won't even take the order or give any indication as to when, if in fact you wait, how long you wait for that truck. So at that point, Joe's concerned that we need to replace these vehicles and that we won't be able to get Dodges.
So if we're sticking with a Chevy,
We're sticking with
No
a
Chevy,
Ford.
Chevy?
Ford.
Where's there a Chevy?
No, the one
No,
we're
you're
replacing
I
is a
think one of
Chevy.
them's a
We're
Chevy
replacing-
coming up.
We're talking about Chevy
replacing-
Chase, maybe, driving?
Oh, we are replacing
we're
a Chevy.
replacing the Chevy,
That's
Mr.
right.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase of the new 2018 Ford 350 4-wheel drive crew cab pickup from Tri-State for $51,125.
I thought it was, okay. I'll second that.
All right, any further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Sounds like 7-0. And I think now we need a motion on the snowplow.
I'm going to move that we award the snow plow frame and plow for for said vehicle to Walsh Equipment at a cost of $7,500.
Is that a second?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Also 7-0. Next, authorization to release TriStar Motors from their contractual obligation to provide a truck.
I'm going to make a motion that we release TriStar from their obligation with respect to our purchase order of February 13th of this year to provide a Dodge Ram 5500 cab and chassis, and that we release, I assume, Walsh Equipment for the corresponding contract.
In their case, we're accepting a release they have given us.
Okay, well, then I won't do that one. I'll just do the
Okay.
first one then.
All right.
I'll second.
Okay, there you go.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 7-0.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept from Walsh Equipment a release of the township's contractual obligations to purchase a dump truck body.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Also 7-0. Next, award of a contract for the purchase of a 2018 Ford 550 four-wheel drive dump truck under the Pennsylvania Cooperative Purchasing Program.
So this is the truck that would replace that Dodge, which we were unable to obtain. And as it turns out, this is actually slightly cheaper than purchasing the Dodge. The other thing, it's a good thing that manufacturing facility's coming, Dodge's manufacturing facility's coming back to Detroit. These Ford trucks, you should know, are assembled in Louisville, Kentucky. So these are actually assembled at a U.S. plant.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the dump truck, the Ford 2018 Ford 550 four-wheel drive for just a cab and chassis, I guess, for $48,477, and that we also approve the dump body from Walsh Equipment at a cost of $46,500.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. 7-0. Award of a contract for design services related to HVAC systems.
So in the 2018 budget, there is an appropriation for the design of the drafting of specifications for the HVAC system that services this room, which we all know doesn't function properly. And then in addition to that, the replacement of the boiler for this building. So it's our recommendation that Loftus Engineers be awarded a contract for $26,800 to develop bid specifications.
I'll make a motion that we award the contract to Loftus Engineers in the amount of $26,800 for the development of bid specifications and drawings for HVAC improvements to the municipal building.
Any comments, issues, questions from council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 7-0. Next, we have, I believe it's 4 tax appeal decisions.
Excuse me.
On the docket, and we have to do them individually?
Nope.
I would note, though, before you did it, that you did a great job of blacking out the names of the taxpayers, except for one of them. The one you left, I believe you left the gentleman's name in it. Let me see which one.
Well, let's not go there.
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name. I'm just going to tell you that
But
it
in
is
my
one of them. I'm
document-
just trying to
but
figure
in my
out.
document-
It's 03-2018.
Okay. I was gonna say-
The second to the last paragraph above conclusions.
Okay.
You say the guys.
That's fine.
You spell out the guy's name, sir.
Well, I'd like to.
Anybody online, don't look.
I'd like to make a motion that we concur with the manager's recommendations for the tax appeals 0318 to approve relief, and 0118, 0218, and 0418 to uphold penalty and interest as recommended by the manager.
I'll second it.
All right. All
Does
those
it have to
in-
be on concurrence with the school board
Yes.
decision?
Yes.
With concurrence of the school board.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 7-0. That's it for new business. Next on item is payroll bills.
Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the payroll and bills. I find them to be in order. I make a motion that we approve the same.
All right. Anybody have any issues with payroll and bills? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 7-0. Is there anything under correspondence, Mr. Lauer, you want to discuss?
You just have 2 letters from either sanitary authority notifying us of work they intend to undertake. And in both cases, these are repairs to existing systems.
Thank you.
All right. Next would be minutes from the various township boards. Anybody have any issues with the minutes?
I'd like to just make a comment, Mr. Chairman. Under the EQB, we've had with us on the board a young lady, Ava Corey Roberts, who is the high school senior who was appointed. And I just wanted to recognize her. In reading the minutes and looking at the different activities, she's been a very active and engaged member, has been a great linking pin to the school SAFE program with the EQB. And I just think it's a good thing that we have had her. She has graduated and is going to be heading off to college, and I'm hopeful that we can get another high school student who might be able to pick up where she's blazed a good trail for us. So I just wanted to acknowledge her.
I had a chance this evening, because I know you had reached out to Mr. Herson, to speak to Mr. Herson, and he would concur with your assessment that she was of real value to the board. She was a person who, the Environmental Quality Board by its very nature does a lot of things that require you to physically do things. And she was very much a participant in those activities.
So should we start advertising for a new student rep at this point?
I think we can, but I don't know whether it makes sense to do that now or as school begins. I don't know.
We had some names of other people, but I don't know if we can recall who they were and if they're still interested. But if the council's agreeable, I think it was the good path to use a high school student as one of the members.
Yeah, the only reason I'd say we should advertise now is because if we wait till school starts, it's going to be October or November before you put someone on, and if they're a senior, they're only going to be on there for 6 or 7 months. So,
Okay. Let us see whether we can find someone who's interested.
Maybe the girl going off can recommend somebody.
We can talk to her.
All right, miscellaneous. Nothing under
Oh,
miscellaneous?
no, you can't get off that easy.
I understand.
A couple things. We got notification today from Columbia Gas at the crossroads. The eastbound leg from Route 19 will be closed for 2 hours tomorrow. You will not be able to come across from West McMurray onto East McMurray. You will not be able to turn from Route 19 onto East McMurray.
How far down, or does it want to be one lane? You don't know?
I think it's just very near the intersection, because I think they're beginning to get to the point where they're going to be starting to go up Route 19.
Yeah.
and they couldn't do this at night.
Apparently not. So,
Would you repeat again, you can't turn onto East McMurray from?
if you
From
were
19.
traveling on Route 19, you would not be able to, if you're coming north, make a right-hand turn. If you were coming south, make a left-hand turn onto East McMurray Road. Because that,
Nor can you
Are
come
they-
straight across.
Nor
Are
can
they
you come straight across.
posting detours?
I do not believe they are, because the length of time that the road's going to be closed is relatively short.
And the time frame again, sir?
But is there going to be some acknowledgement that the road's closed?
You'll get there and you won't be able to make the turn.
There will be flagmen, and there will be a police officer there. Road work will
Right.
begin around 8 a.m. and last for 2 hours.
Okay, and is that on our website?
It's been,
I got a blast
there's been a
at work.
blast sent out about this.
Yeah, I got a PT blast at
Great.
work, so it must be on
This is
there.
gas line replacement?
You know, why
Yes.
couldn't they just do it at like 10 to noon instead of?
Well, why can't they do it at night? They're there digging
Yeah.
every night.
I
Why
don't
couldn't they
know.
do it? I mean, can
Because
you
it
pick
makes
a more
sense
inconvenient
to
time
do
to
it
do it
that
than from
way.
8 in the morning to
Why don't you
10 in the
do it
morning?
4 to 6 in the evening?
Right, yeah, exactly. You know? Because we all know it's not going to take 2 hours. It's going to take 4 hours.
Right.
And yeah, whatever. Look forward to the full room in 2
And
weeks.
then
But
they'll probably
anyway.
hit something and it'll break
Right.
the pipe and
Here.
the water will start flooding.
There you go.
And it'll be something else, you know?
Well, let's all look on the bright side.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm not.
All right, what else?
The other thing I want to point out to council, on the 11th, Shaycog will be opening bids for the garbage contract, the recycling contract. One of the things that we have been told is that the products that can be recycled under the new contract are going to, that list is going to be reduced, and that has to do with a problem with the markets for recycled materials. They'll no longer be able to take glass as a recycled material. There'll be a restriction to plastics number 1 and number 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. So, but there really isn't an option with regard to that. We'll have good numbers by the next time council meets as to the cost of garbage going forward for the next 5 years.
Glass will no longer be recycled.
No, where they're running into a problem that with the single stream recycling, as you can probably expect, given that it's put in compactors, the glass is being smashed. The biggest market for recycled materials is China.
Right.
And China will not accept contaminated recycled materials anymore. And contamination consists of glass being in the paper. And so, there is really not an alternative there. So.
Wow.
We could get a separate can for glass.
Seriously, why can't they do something like that?
Well, you would have to see the recycling facility that we use for single stream recycling, and regardless of whether you're Republic or Waste Management, it's all being recycled at one facility in Pittsburgh, and it's an automated facility to be able to get costs down, and glass is a problem.
Well, hopefully the beer distributors will go back to the days when you could take your empty bottles.
They're supposedly working on something
Yeah.
like that. They're going to start charging.
Or just buy cans?
What about wine bottles?
Yeah.
Does anyone know of anywhere that recycles glass? Or can recycle glass?
I don't know how you would collect it. I don't know.
I know that glass has been used to recycle to make actually mulch. I know they use that in South Carolina, and we were actually just recently in Texas, and they actually polish it and use it as mulch, and it's supposed to be a very effective thing, so I'm surprised somebody wouldn't get on that and
Okay.
use it.
Fair warning.
Fair warning.
Anything else under miscellaneous?
I had a question. At the end of May, I submitted to Mr. Lauer some suggestions about recommendations for board membership and qualifications, and trying to establish a little bit more formal outline of what people need to do and should be qualified to do in the respect of, the standard stuff about being a resident, but also a few other things. And Mr. Lauer was going to work on it, and I just wondered if you could tell me a status.
We have not made lots of progress on that yet, but our intention is to create, in essence, a handbook so that we can, when people are appointed, that we can give them something so that they can truly understand what their duties are.
Well, even before they're appointed, so they understand when they apply, that they need to meet certain criteria. So I think, if you could, just so we can have that ready for when we start appointing people again.
And that's our intention.
Okay, and then the other thing for miscellaneous, there was some things in the Peters Township sanitary minutes that make it sound like there's some cost overruns. And I wondered if you had gotten any reports or any plan for Mr. Jenkins to come talk to us.
I have not.
So that'll be a next agenda topic.
Okay.
All right, anyone else on miscellaneous?
One thing I wanted to address, Mr. Chairman, I've noticed in my 6 months of signing checks that we refund a heck of a lot of money for programs that people choose not to attend. I really think we ought to look at, it's one thing if we cancel the program, we should refund the money, but really if it's people who are signing up and signing up early just for the sole purpose of saving a spot that someone else then can't use and then backing out of the program, we really ought to just consider giving them a credit for that money rather than refunding it.
That makes sense. Do we know how much? volume?
I don't know what,
is actually-
I can't tell you how much of that is people deciding not to do the program and how much of that is us canceling the program. I'd have to talk with Michelle. My understanding is that what we have done is allow you to come to a program and make a determination as to whether or not it's what you want, and then give you the chance then to back out of that program. I think that creates problems. You know, because these instructors are all doing this based upon receiving a percentage of that fee, and if it's not fair to that instructor not to know what the class size is before they commit to doing the class. So
Oh, I agree with Mr. Kozer, something should be.
let me check with Michelle.
I just refer it to the Park and Rec Board, let them figure it out.
Yeah,
Come back
that's a
with
good
some
point,
sort
though.
of-
No, I mean, it seems like every 2 weeks, it's, close to $500
Well, I think
refunds we're
you
issuing.
either give them credit or there's some processing fee that we take.
All right. I just have two quick things. I've been reading a lot about various states, community cities banning plastic straws and styrofoam containers. I'm wondering, do we have that capability from a local level?
You mean like
I
banning a
would think
restaurant
it's-
from using straws?
I think as a home rule community, you could do that.
Well, if that's something we could look into.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of it, like I know Starbucks obviously is self-imposed, but I haven't seen the municipalities doing it.
Well, Seattle is, but that's a city, I guess.
I would rather question worth of that.
What's that?
I said I would question the worth of that.
We could
Well,
certainly,
trust me, having a place in Belize, I think it's very important.
well, certainly we could send a directive to businesses or something that says we would really like you to consider eliminating them until we can find out legally whether we could make
Okay.
them do it.
Yeah, I can take a quick look at that, especially now that we have all this glass going back into the.
Yeah, right, there we
Maybe
go.
we can mandate they use recycled glass straws.
Did you have something?
Oh, and the other thing is, I keep getting complaints about Federage cranking up early in the morning. And I know we keep sending people out there to look it over, and they say, no, they're not cranking early in the morning. But then it must be imaginative, Terry, by the people who complain to me. And those are the people who live over in, up on the hill. Yeah.
We can once again have the police department attempt to ascertain whether that's occurring. They haven't heard it.
Maybe they should use their
Maybe
unmarked pickup.
we should have them sleep at this guy's house. But, all right, that's it. Robert?
Just hats off to all the participants, contributors. Community Day, I think, was a huge success. The weather was tremendous. The crowd was well handled. I don't know how many people made it up there for it.
It was hot.
It was really
It
hot.
was one of the best weather days.
It's always a good event. Anyone else on miscellaneous? Anything for the next agenda? All right, being that there's none, this meeting is...
We have a brief executive session.
Oh, we have a brief executive session. Meeting is adjourned.